Hey guys, good morning. It's Tony. I woke up a little later today because slept in, but I'm about to go run and I thought I'd make a really quick video right before I ended up leaving. Again, as always, thank you guys all for the continued support. Because of all the likes recently, my videos have been getting pushed out a lot more and I've been seeing a lot more traction. So if you guys can continue to give me those, push the like button, it'd be super fantastic, man, because it seems like it's actually doing pretty solid. And now, I realize why what is it called why a bunch of YouTubers always ask for a whatchamacallit, like for everybody to like their stuff, right? So I wanted to get straight into the video. The video that I released yesterday morning, it ended up being pretty solid. It ended up hitting what is it called it ended up hitting forecast. I said yesterday that if we close, I think like a 3-hour bull or 4-hour bull, we were going to end up seeing 372. We did hit 372. A little bit of drawdown early in the morning, but then again, we pushed all the way up. And we actually ended up, I was looking for a 372, actually 372, like 370. I forgot what my range was, but I was looking for 372, like I think the previous high of 376. Yeah, so it basically hit the range that I was looking for. And we also did close a bullish week. There you go. We closed a bullish week, and it's this video is basically gonna let you guys know to long the F out of everything. I think after today, after the Friday's close, we are, I think 381 is 99.9% guaranteed. And I think as of right now, regardless of if this trend breaks, right, which I think it will, we're gonna go straight to like 407 or $400. I think right now we are starting the road up towards $415 again, to be completely honest. Sorry, I have like a little runny nose and stuff, but I think as of right now, the next target would be 381. If you use a trend fib again, it's basically at 381. I think 381 is essentially guaranteed within the next 2 weeks, unless you have some ridiculously horrible earnings. But even then, TA is pretty strong to the upside towards 381, and I think that's going to hit within the next 2 weeks. I think you hit this, probably come back to like 372, maybe back to trend, and then you go continue pushing towards the upside. But again, every single time we've hit a perfect entry on the weekly, it's been we could be at a potential bottom every single time, right? So again, we hit the weekly trigger, happened here. You ended up running from, again, I think I released this in one of the other videos, but you ended up running around $66 in around 60 days or so, right? And then previously you had this bottom here, and then you ended up pushing $31, right, within a week, right? Within that same week. The next week you actually ended up hitting that peak and then running on the low side. And again, from here, peak low, you ran up within 2 weeks, you ran up $50, right? And then another perfect entry on the weekly. Again, perfect entry right here. That ended up pushing all the way towards, that ended up pushing us almost $75 in 2 months. Perfect entry right here. Perfect entry, lows. That ended up pushing around $37 in 60 days. So it seems like the average move is around 60 days or so, like between 2 weeks and 60 days after we actually close, or within that close. So I think we could have a peak next week, or 2 months or so. We can see the average move up is 56 days, 63 days, 14 days, 7 days, 56 days. Again, it's all variable because there's a lot of things that can change, but I think that we could definitely hit, we can definitely keep running for 2 more months. And I think we're definitely on our way to possibly, right, possibly running back to this trend up here at around maybe $407 or so. And again, I've told you guys, I already bought back like 50% of my portfolio, and I sold everything. I bought back everything 50% around when SPY was at 365 earlier this week. I bought back about 50% of my portfolio, and I will be slowly DCAing if we actually come back, right? If this is a potential bottom and we actually break this trend, I'll probably end up throwing more money at it, right? I've been DCAing. I started DCAing about I think in late September. And as of right now, I've bought back like 50% of my portfolio. I sold everything up here. I sold everything at 430, right? That's when we called that divergence top, and then we tanked from there, which was back in, back in August. Yeah, like around August. So, but again, right now, definitely bullish. I definitely think we can run for the next 2 months. And my target as of right now for next week would actually be 381, 382. And if we're actually, this is actually something that I only showed my Patreon members, but again, Renko actually ended up closing, right? Renko ended up closing to the upside. And I think on Monday, this is actually going to show up. And I think if we actually end up closing, what is this? The close open at 382. If we close at anything 382.5 on the SPX or higher, I think that's a sign that we're at a potential bottom, and we're going to push even further to 390. So as of right now, I am getting extremely bullish towards the upside, especially with the weekly closing the way that it did. So as of right now, I'm like losing my voice. As of right now, I am looking for, actually, you know what? The easier way to actually do this to look for a bottom is let's look for a trend on the fib, right? Let's look for trend forecast. What is trend forecast here? What are we looking for as far as price? Trend forecast would be 336. Yeah, so we haven't hit the actual trend forecast yet, which is odd because usually it's a pretty clear sign of a bottom on the market. Yeah, so this one we already hit. So that one we already hit. This actually says, we're looking at the second forecast. We're actually looking like we could drop a little bit further to like 336, somewhere around this range, right? So I think we could keep running towards 381. More than likely here, I will sell out of longs and wait for confirmation for us to break, come back and retest, and then push to the upside. I think that's what might happen in the upcoming week. So we can expect a couple of things here, right? We'll use a daily chart to kind of position ourselves. But as of right now, I definitely think we're headed towards 381, right? I definitely think we're headed somewhere around this area, 381 here. So what can happen is you can hit here, and then that can be the peak, and you drop down to like 336 like this, right? Something like that, right? Or you can push up here, break, come back down, retest like that, something like that, and then push to the upside like that, right? Very simple. Whoops. I think as of right now, the direction that we're headed is actually breaking towards 391, coming back, and then pushing to the upside, right? That's what I think that where we're headed right now. But because we are actually, in earnings week, there's a lot of things that can happen, right? So Snap did, I personally don't think that did as bad as everybody thought it did. You have, you're still running on Google, on Apple, and everything, and that's a pretty big determining factor, right? So I do think that we're going to keep running towards 381 next week. And then retest that trend. I think at trend, I will probably sell everything, all of my longs, and then wait for confirmation. I need this to break for me to actually think we're headed back to like 410 and 415 or so. But there's really only two directions. But as of right now, I think 381, 385 is basically guaranteed in the next week or two. So I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.